Harriet Beecher Stowe, a literary and social pioneer. One Life and Family. Harriet Beecher Stowe was born on June 14, 1811, in Litchfield, Connecticut, into a prominent religious and intellectual family. She was the seventh of 13 children born to Reverend Lyman Beecher, a well-known Calvinist preacher, and Roxana Foote Beecher. Her father's influence and her family's strong emphasis on education significantly shaped her worldview. Harriet was educated at the Hartford Female Seminary, founded by her older sister Catherine Beecher, where she received a rigorous education in literature, languages, and philosophy, subjects uncommon for women at the time. In 1832, she moved with her family to Cincinnati, Ohio, where her father had become the president of Lane Theological Seminary. Living in Cincinnati exposed her to the realities of slavery, as the city bordered the slave state of Kentucky. Her experiences there would later fuel her abolitionist sentiments and inspire her literary work. In 1836, she married Calvin Ellis Stowe, a professor and staunch abolitionist. The couple had 7 children, and despite financial struggles, Harriet managed to balance her writing career with her responsibilities as a wife and mother. Her marriage provided an intellectually stimulating environment, as Calvin encouraged her to pursue her literary ambitions. 2 main works. Harriet Beecher Stowe's literary career was driven by her deep religious convictions and social activism. Her most famous work, Uncle Tom's Cabin, was published in 1852. Initially serialized in the national era, the novel became a nationwide sensation upon its book release. It vividly portrayed the brutal realities of slavery through the experiences of the kind and noble slave, Uncle Tom, and other African American characters. The book was a monumental success, selling over 300,000 copies in its first year, and eventually being translated into multiple languages. It is widely credited with influencing public opinion in the North and strengthening the abolitionist movement. Abraham Lincoln reportedly referred to Stowe as the little lady who started this great war, acknowledging the novel's impact on the Civil War. In addition to Uncle Tom's Cabin, Stowe wrote numerous other works, including Dread, A Tale of the Great Dismal Swamp, 1856, another anti-slavery novel that depicted the struggles of a group of fugitive slaves. She also wrote historical fiction, domestic manuals, and religious texts, such as The Minister's Wooing, 1859, and Old Town Folks, 1869, which explored Puritan society. Her literary contributions extended beyond fiction. Stowe was a prolific essayist and correspondent who advocated for abolition, women's rights, and moral reform through her writings. Her influence reached American and European audiences, solidifying her place as a leading intellectual of her time. 3. Anecdotes. Harriet Beecher Stowe was known for her strong personality, sharp intellect, and unwavering commitment to social justice. One notable anecdote from her life involves her meeting with President Abraham Lincoln in 1862. Upon greeting her, Lincoln allegedly remarked, "So you are the little woman who wrote the book that started this great war." While historians debate the accuracy of this quote, it underscores the profound effect Uncle Tom's Cabin had on the national consciousness. Another interesting story relates to the rapid writing process of Uncle Tom's Cabin. Stowe was so passionate about her subject matter that she often wrote in a state of deep emotional engagement. She reportedly wept while composing some of the novel's most heart-wrenching scenes, particularly the death of Uncle Tom. Her conviction that she was guided by divine inspiration reinforced her sense of duty to expose the evils of slavery. Additionally, Stowe advocated for women's education and co-founded the Hartford Art School, which later became part of the University of Hartford. Her dedication to social causes extended beyond slavery, encompassing issues such as women's rights, temperance, and moral reform. 4. Controversies. Despite her widespread acclaim, Harriet Beecher Stowe faced significant criticism, both during her lifetime and in later years. One of the major controversies surrounding Uncle Tom's Cabin was its portrayal of African American characters. While the novel was instrumental in shaping anti-slavery sentiment, some critics argued that Stowe's depiction of Uncle Tom reinforced racial stereotypes of Black docility and submission. The term Uncle Tom eventually became a derogatory phrase used to describe African Americans who were perceived as overly submissive to white authority. Southern critics of Uncle Tom's Cabin denounced the book as abolitionist propaganda and claimed that Stowe had misrepresented the realities of slavery. In response, pro-slavery writers produced their own counter-narratives, such as Aunt Phyllis's Cabin by Mary Eastman, which attempted to depict slavery as a benevolent institution. Stowe defended her work by publishing A Key to Uncle Tom's Cabin, 1853, which provided documentary evidence supporting the novel's depiction of slavery. In modern times, Stowe's legacy has been reassessed with a more critical eye. While she remains a celebrated abolitionist, scholars have debated the effectiveness and unintended consequences of her portrayals of race and gender. Some argue that while Uncle Tom's Cabin was revolutionary for its time, it also reinforced certain paternalistic attitudes toward African Americans. However, its impact on American history and literature remains undeniable. 5. Conclusion. Harriet Beecher Stowe was a literary force whose writings helped shape the course of American history. Through Uncle Tom's Cabin and her numerous other works, she gave voice to the injustices of slavery and played a key role in mobilizing public opinion against it. Despite facing criticism and controversy, her contributions to literature, social reform, and women's rights cemented her legacy as one of the most influential writers of the 19th century. Today, her work continues to be studied and debated, reflecting the enduring power of literature as a tool for social change.